Taking off in 5, 4, 3, 2. Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy, T.O., as you know.
It's your boy, O Rain, real name, no games, no gimmicks.
Yo, it's the motherfucking Fade Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything TV, media, and film related. Along with any other goddamn thing we're going to talk about, coming to you live, direct, Proof of Concept Studios. What is up, my friend? How's life?
Life is good right now, man.
Yeah.
I've got
more life, like Drake?
I say that, yeah, more life.
Yeah.
Hopefully more and more of that. I mean, I don't want it to end anytime soon, so as much as possible.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's getting darker.
Literally as much as possible.
Yeah.
But no, dude, life is good. I feel like I say it all the time. You know, I don't have much to complain about.
Yeah.
That's because I really don't.
Yeah.
I really do not. I mean, we were just talking about that whole like Joe Biden student loan forgiveness thing.
Yeah.
I've got that. Everyone else has it though. So like, I can't really complain about that. We can complain about the system, but at the same time, like you can't really complain about it. I mean,
you can.
You know,
you can say, Joe, I'd like more. I've been paying my taxes for quite some time now.
Yeah, for sure.
Seems like I don't really get the benefit of that.
You can say it, but like it's not going to happen in the immediate future, right? So
if you throw some soup at Joe and then glue yourself to Joe, do you know what I'm talking about?
The girls who destroyed the Van Gogh thing.
Yeah.
Yo, I wonder in situations like that, what did you actually accomplish?
You know, okay, so we're talking about them now, right?
Like,
so
what did Van Gogh's painting do to like really hurt climate?
It's just a way of getting attention, but then also too, I mean, it's a painting, you know. So and it's the help, like, oh, it's in this museum. It costs this much money, you know, and it's just like it's all fabricated. Who gives a shit, right? Like it's
probably not even the real. It's probably not the original.
Yeah. It's just a hologram of the actual Van Gogh.
But you are. I think maybe if part of that message was like we're spending so much money, we're using so much energy to protect and preserve things that don't really matter, yet we're not dedicating like any resources and funds to like the things that actually do, like preventing climate change, feeding the homeless, housing, education, healthcare. I get it.
And one could say you have to shake people out of their apathy, meaning that like you have to like do something to jar them out of like this state of just like I don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
Now I've maintained this since I saw there was a lady who one time, I forget what basketball game it was, but she like ran out to the court and she immediately was tackled before she could really like
the security guard who tackled her. He was on the
job.
That motherfucker's
Get that
reflexes.
Dude a raise.
Yo, he should. We might need him on the Rams. Like the way we've been playing lately, we need some hitters because he can't. Yo, she got no yards after the catch. Her yak was zero.
Fumbled, you know.
He returned the shit too.
Ever since then, I've been really questioning like what these like whether you're helping your cause or hurting it. Because I for one would tend to agree with these people who are these activists, right? I feel like naturally kind of be on their side of just like, yeah, here's this thing that we are not paying attention to that we should. But somehow I get so annoyed at them that I'm like, I really don't care about the thing you're talking about. Like, even though I know I should, but it's just, I don't know, man. It sucks because it's like, I know what they're standing for is something that's like positive, right? They're trying to affect some sort of positive change in the world, but it's somehow
like when your
annoying.
Action is bigger than your message, then I'm never going to hear what you're really trying to say because I'm so fixated on the thing that you did.
But don't you need those type of large actions in order to
sometimes yes, but you always have to make sure that the message is delivered, right? Because if the thing is too big,
fair enough. Yeah.
Right? Like if you're like, oh, we need to change how the government goes about like taxation, right? So like you go burn down the IRS building, then it's like your message will more than likely be lost in the because they're going to focus on, oh, they burned down a building, this is arson, it's property destruction, this is going to cost $50 million to like rebuild or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then like your message is like, hey, like the system and our taxation in this country and taxing the less fortunate more than the rich, it's not fair, it's not equal, blah blah blah. Your message is lost.
Yeah, but how do you? But then you're constantly in this state of, because nobody cares already, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, I burned it down.
Yeah.
I'm still for like I'd rather take some type of action than none.
Yeah.
But you just have to do your best to preserve the message in the end. Otherwise, it just looks like chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, like you don't really look different, and I think that's what's getting lost in translation.
You just look like a different problem.
Exactly. That's the best way to put it. Is that like you don't look like you're trying to solve anything so much as you're kind of just adding to the chaotic discourse that's already there, right? But then the question is like, well, what's the best way, right? Because that's effectively what I'm saying right now is essentially like what people tell like black people who like protest, right? It's just like, well, you're disrupting, the usual flow of things, and that's not going to allow me to hear your
message. The usual flow needs to be disrupted.
Exactly. So it's like I
like how you just said that. Exactly. It just came out interestingly.
Yeah. I'm preparing to. I'm going to try to take a trip to Europe. So I'm preparing for my arrival.
Yeah. You know what? We were just talking about this. I want to. Something came to mind as we were talking about like destroying the Van Gogh and blah blah blah. Right.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear people talk about traveling to like certain places, like in Europe, right? Oh, it's so historic and the history, blah blah. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
About it. I go nowhere for history.
You know what? What's so funny about that? So I was talking yesterday with my significant other, and we were talking about this. Going on on a trip to Italy actually, and I was trying to convey like I don't really care about like ever go to Rome, so you can see like the Colosseums and all that shit.
Fuck
it's
Rome.
Like it's no okay, so it's not fuck Rome, but
I've seen it on Google Images. Wow, been there. I want to go somewhere to eat.
Yeah,
I want music, food, and culture, but like I want the culture stuff. But I don't really care about the history stuff. Like, oh, this was created in 1843. I don't give a fuck, dude. Do they have food in there? So are they playing music?
I'm inclined to be on your end of the spectrum, meaning that like I really don't like. Okay, like where's the eats right now? That's what I'm trying to figure out, right? But it does. I will appreciate every now and then the fact that like something like really fucking old, like when you look at something and it's like, yo, this has been here since 1412, and you're just like, how?
Yeah.
How does anything last that long in this world? Knowing the world we have right now, how the fuck does anything last that long? You know what I mean? Because when we think about ourselves, it's like, yo, I don't have shit from like last year. Like basically everything I have is like different. You know what I mean? I don't know if I have. I mean, I'm lying. Like I've got plenty of shit from
because they handmade shit. We get it from IKEA.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
And it's like our shit breaks immediately. And so that aspect of it does every now and then kind of blow my mind, but not enough where I'm willing to like base an entire like trip on that. Like,
so I would say I'm more like when it comes to like historical things, right? I'm more interested in like the people who did the thing. For example, I went to I took a trip to Florida. We were in Orlando for like a day, and I visited the Salvador Dali art museum, and also like the Picasso art museum as well, right? Mm-hmm. Beautiful pieces of work. I really appreciated all of the art that I saw and all the history behind it. But like more so than when I look back at it, more so than I appreciate any piece of work. Like I don't really remember most of it, like the actual art itself.
Yeah.
But I do remember a lot of his story. So I appreciate like the person, but I don't really care about like the fixtures and the structures. Like, cool. And I think these climate change people, what they're trying to say is like, we spend, how much money do you think they spend a year preserving fucking what's the shit called in Rome? The cathedrals and shit?
Sure.
Right? And they're homeless people right outside of it. The Colosseums. They're people hungry and starving outside of the thing.
Yeah.
But they're spending like $2 million a year preserving it. And it's like, let the thing go, feed the people. Give a fuck about what was it? Cathedrals? Coliseum?
Both. I think both are there. Yeah. I don't know about that. And the only reason why I say that is not because I think it's morally just to be spending $2 million to preserve whatever the fucking thing is versus the people who are actually like starving. That's not what I'm arguing. But what I am arguing is that things do have inherent value. Like we give values to things, right? Like, or things don't have inherent values. We give the value to the thing, right? So it's like if we as people deem, oh my God, this artwork is so precious that we need to preserve it, and what it's going to cost to preserve it is $2 million based off of whoever the fuck needs to come in and fix it up or have develop whatever the fucking thing is to preserve it, then it's like, all right, well then that's what the thing, like we should be able to do both, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We should be able to preserve the thing for whatever the fuck it costs.
Ignoring
exactly because we create all of this shit, right? Or we don't create all of it, but we control what we value, right? Like, so it's like we can find $2 million to take care of those homeless people and also the $2 million to preserve the
or
thing.
Can we preserve the thing with 1 million and use another million to take care of the homeless people? Like, does it need, like, you know, when I look at these like amazing pieces of art and like, you know, fucking sculptures and shit like that, right? Like, does it need this entire massive fucking building that costs taxpayer? Like, you know, and I look at all the museums in DC, even the African American Museum, that costs so much fucking money.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate its existence and its purpose. It's just, you know, kind of heartbreaking when you see how much we spend on things that are not as important as, you know, people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but we, you know, but I would argue we do that because that's who we are at our core, right? We're into the shit that we're into, and we see those other people as just like, shit, I guess they must have fucked up in life. I guess they didn't make the right decisions, you know, in order to fucking, you know, have their life turn out a certain way, even though that's not the, you know, the reality of it.
What's that phrase called? It's like a social justice warrior or something like that.
That is a phrase. That is a phrase.
Yeah, someone called me that the other day because
did they really?
Yeah,
you? They clearly they don't know.
They don't know me
are.
well. No, so because I was talking about the whole like Jeffrey Dahmer thing, right, on Netflix, and like why I'm not interested in watching it.
Were you talking to somebody online?
No,
they called you this? No, they called you this in person.
In person, yeah. Now, I wasn't offended by it because I'm like,
no, I mean you shouldn't be offended by it, but it's just if they knew you at all, using that. Well,
so like, I think what they were saying was like, you know, like there are things in my life that I do and don't do because of, you know, my just like moral compass, right? Sure. And for me, I would just call it a moral compass. They called it a social, me being a social, because I was like ruining their thing, right? So she was like, oh, I've been watching the Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix and it's like really good. And I'm like, I'm not going to watch that because he was a racist and he targeted mostly gay, black men and women, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to, you know, give any type of, I'm not going to like fantasize it. I'm not going to, what is it called when you like fetishize it? I'm not going to give it whatever thing the creators of Netflix were hoping that this, I'm not going to give it the attention, right? And then she was like, oh, well, you're kind of like just ruining my thing. Like it's just a TV show and I like it. You don't have to ruin it for me. I'm like, you know, if you like it, I'm not going to tell you not to watch it. Right. I'm just telling you why I'm not watching it.
Well, and I would argue that the reason why, because I too, I'm not watching it, and also too, like I don't care for like.
Yeah, I've never been into serial killer shit.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I don't really find any interest there. But what specifically with this particular one that is just like, I don't know about this dude. It's just like I don't know what value it has. Like we all know the Jeffrey Dahmer story. There's endless documentaries, movies, yada yada out there already, right? They just came out with one like a couple years ago, like My Best Friend Dahmer or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like we don't know the story and we haven't been retold the story 1,000 different times in 1,000 different media or mediums. So I don't know what this is other than Netflix being like, we got another hit show on our hands.
Yeah,
like,
it's just more production behind it. That's it. It's just a bigger budget.
And so for
more well-known actor.
And for that much, then it's like, okay, so then you're forcing all these people who actually had to like live through that shit to just see their shit like on screen for like no reason. Like I can see if you're trying to, if this is an unknown story and you're trying to really get that, you know, message out there of just like, hey, look what this asshole did, you know, or look what this bastard did. But if it's just like everybody already knows the story, there's already like you guys like Netflix, I think has like other fucking series or documentaries or whatever about Jeffrey Dahmer. So it's like all this is about Netflix having another.
Let's just
great
retell
show
the
on their
story
hands.
and make more money from it, right? Like how can we tell the same story again and then monetize it again?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's fucked up for the people who lost loved ones to you know, fucking rapist, murderer, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
To have to rewatch it and like see it trending on Twitter, see it on Google. If that family has, could you imagine going into Netflix one day?
Oh,
and then
this guy trying to watch whatever.
This
and then
guy
you
murdered
see
your
fucking,
uncle or your brother or your sister,
Yeah,
and
that's
then you're
miserable, dude.
you're just trying to enjoy your night, and then you see, oh, they've got a whole series about this man, and episode 3 is about my loved one.
Yeah, it's not great. And I'm not saying that we don't already do shit like that in terms of just like, you know, how we consume media. Like we share clips online and it's fucked up shit happening to people all over the place. I'm not saying that like I personally, I just don't find any interest in this, so it's not my thing. I can't begrudge somebody else for be like, oh shit, like I checked out the
I'm not gonna tell
whatever.
people not to watch it.
Yeah.
Again, I just choose not to.
Yeah, I forgot how we got on this topic. How the fuck did we get on this topic?
Who knows? I don't know. I think we were talking about
somehow we got from Italy to, you know, in the Colosseums or the cathedrals.
He was probably Italian. I don't know.
Either way, let's jump into some movie shit. Coming out this week. This past week, and we'll talk about it a little bit here in a sec, but Halloween Ends came out this past week, and I checked it out on Peacock. I didn't go to the theater to watch it, although I think that I could have gotten away with going to the theater with this one. I think that might have been better served to go to the theater, but I watched it on Peacock just because I didn't have that much. I literally just watched it this morning, and I didn't have that much time, so I was just like, I'm not going to the movies at fucking 8:00 in the morning. Hello, Peacock. Show me what you got.
Yeah.
You know?
So, anyone who I wonder what would make you. Now, I grant there are some big movies that I'd like. I maybe like Endgame. I probably would go see it first thing in the morning. But like, who was the first?
You wouldn't go see that first thing in the morning.
I'm saying I would, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Like a big movie like that, right? But I just wonder, like, who today at the AMC movie theater was the first person to just show up like, yo, I'm ready to see whatever shit you guys have playing. Like,
dude,
what's playing right now?
I go to what do you call them? Matinees? Go to matinees all the fucking time.
Yeah, but matinees are like midday, right?
I think that's the earliest
possible
time you can see a movie, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I just know, like, whenever you're the first customer in any business, the people who work there are like, this motherfucker.
Yo, when you get to a restaurant and you're like either the first person or the last person, they hate your guts immediately.
Yeah, I don't think they hate the last people, right?
They do. They hundreds because they're keeping them from leaving.
So so this is what my like ex-girlfriend used to say all the time, right? She refused if any restaurant was about to close within like 30 to 45 minutes. She wouldn't want to go. She was like, we can't go. We can't go.
No, this is the correct way to approach.
No, I vehemently disagree with that.
Because here's why. Okay, but you have no regard for other people in general.
So I've worked in a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
I never gave a fuck about the last people there, or if we're about to close in 30 minutes and someone wants to place a quick order. Like, why do I care? Like, this is my job. I'm here to work.
So if somebody's just chilling at a bar, you're or not a bar, like a restaurant, and you're the waiter there, and it's your table, and they just refuse to like leave, and you have to stay there like an hour past the time where you would have otherwise. You're telling me.
Well, so you can't just leave just because like the customer leaves. You can't just leave for the most part, right? Like
that's what I'm saying.
You still have like other shit to do, right?
That's what I'm saying, and you can't, and it slows you up, so you can't even get to your other shit.
No, go do your other shit. Like
you can't start mopping the floor,
but you can start like cleaning. You can start organizing. You can start rolling silverware. There's a lot of things. If you work in a restaurant, there's a lot of things you could do during the time that those people are finishing their meal and their conversation. And if you care, you're kind of just an asshole. Why are you a server or a bartender if you're like, do you expect
I need money. Like, what the fuck?
So, like, let's say the bar closes at 9 p.m., right? And it's 8:30, right? And there are people still at the bar. Like, do you expect everybody to be like, oh, shit, the business is about to close in 30 minutes. We got to go.
Okay, not before, but when you're like, oh, hey, we're closed up. The kitchen's closed. We're not serving any, like, we're not even last call. And you're still there. Like, why do you think they do that with bars for last call, right? When it's last call, and then they just turn on the lights and like everybody get the fuck out.
Yeah, sure. Like in that case, if they turn on the lights, turn off the music, hey, we're closing, blah blah blah. Yes, then everybody get the fuck out, right? Yeah. But if the restaurant is closing at 9, and there are people in there at 9:30, or let's say someone walks in the door at 8:30 to place an order, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I'm less inclined to be like, I think it's annoying. So I understand people's annoyance with it. Like I used to work at Bagel Bin, right? When people would be coming in, and especially like if it's been like dead like towards the end, and then you just have one person when you're about to just like shut everything down and get the fuck out of there. You got one person to come in. Hey,
yeah, can I sample
that?
that?
And you're just like, yo, come on,
this
motherfucker. Like I've been trying to, like had my heart set that I'm getting the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? I got somebody waiting on me back at the crib. Like, it's Friday night. I'm trying to get into some shit, and here you walk in. I don't know. How's your, how's the platter? And it's like, the fuck do you mean? How's the platter?
Your lox? Is your lox good, bitch? I don't know. Order it. But like, so in a situation where like you get paid hourly, right? Yeah. Then yes, it kind of sucks. But if you're working on like tips or commission or something like that, then like,
how would you're working hourly if you're working off of.
Well, a lot of like people who work in the restaurant industry, like their hourly paycheck is like you might get like $3 an hour, right? But like you get tipped, right? So like I'll just say this: if I own a business, I want people to come in the minute before we close, like spend money here. Like I don't want anyone to be like
own the business.
Yeah,
if you're just an employee and like okay, the tips I think I can understand what you're saying, like meaning that like and that's at that person's discretion, right? Like if they're gonna fucking like tip you, so you don't even know if they're a good tipper, right? So you're trying to eye them. You're like, is this gonna be worth my time?
Yeah, this motherfucker a good tipper. Let me do some research really quickly.
What'd you say your name was again? Randy? Okay,
let's Tip Rater. Where you could rate. Yeah, they probably do have some shit like that where people who work in the restaurant industry just rate people like
habitual bad tippers.
Yeah, this motherfucker David tips 17%, not 18, not 20, just 17.
Oh shit!
He tips 1% down.
I felt bad yesterday, right? So we were at a restaurant, and I tipped instead of tipping 25%, I tipped 20%.
You tipped 25%?
No, there's the option to tip 25%.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I go for 20 all the time.
Right. And so, because I thought that was like the standard for years, right? And then I guess it's just increased, I guess, with time. But
cost of living, yeah, I guess so.
And yeah, the price is going up. And so I felt bad because I was like, wait, they actually did do a good job, but I just don't want to give out 25. Like I almost like
yeah, but I did a good job to earn this money too. I don't fucking just have to give it to you. We both did a good job. You did your job good. I did my job good. 20%.
So, anyways, we got here somehow from watching movies like early in the day. I watched Halloween earlier today. And I have a lot of thoughts about it. I know you haven't watched it yet, but
I will watch it today. Yeah.
Yeah, we can have sort of like a spoiler-free conversation about it. But coming out this week in movie theaters is Black Adam. It's coming out this coming week.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna see that. I'll see it. I'll go to theaters to see that.
Yeah, I'll go see it, but I'm not expecting anything worthwhile. There's just no way I think this movie is going to be even remotely good, which is I'm setting my expectations extremely low. So I'm hoping that it can at least surpass it just by a whisker. You know?
I don't know. I have high expectations for this movie. Like I think a lot of
high expectations.
It's not going to be a fucking Oscar winner, but like
wait, I'm just trying to clarify. You said you have high expectations
in terms of like the hype around the cast looks great. The story looks really good from what I've seen from the trailers. This looks like
name me a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie that you can truthfully say was truly worth the price of admission.
I mean, I think The Rock has done a lot of good movies.
No. I want you to name a specific. I want you to be very specific to the movie that you can say was truly worth the price. And I'm looking into your eyes, so I know if you're telling the truth, right?
Okay.
Tell me the movie that The Rock put out that you're like, that was worth it.
All
and right, The Rock alone, too, not the Fast and Furious. We're not talking about Fast and Furious. I mean, solo Rock movie.
Solo Rock movie. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna go through the Rock movies that I actually liked. Okay.
Sure.
Central Intelligence with him and Kevin Hart.
No. You're sidestepping.
Yo, but there's gotta be a supporting fucking cast member. All right, what was worth the price of admission?
No. I'll take supporting cast. What I'm saying is The Rock's headlining the movie, right? It's The Rock's movie essentially, right? I don't care about the supporting cast. Tell me the movie that was actually worth the price of admission.
Central Intelligence.
No, it wasn't. No, incorrect. No.
I like Faster. Remember that movie?
No.
I like that.
No.
Fuck.
Not worth the price of admission. Okay, all bullshit so far.
I did like San Andreas.
You're saying you like
Pain and Gain.
Do you understand the question I'm asking you? And Pain and Gain wasn't even that was Mark Wahlberg.
I've been in court before. I've been in a deposition. I don't have to answer your question the way you ask it. I'm going to give you my answer, counsel.
But that tells me everything I need to know then in that case.
So
right?
yes, The Rock doesn't do like
good movies.
Great movies. He does like
good movies.
The Rock movies. You know what I mean? Where he's just a big fucking dude saving the city. You know what I mean? But I do think Black Adam's going to be a good one. I think it's going to change how we view the DCU.
No.
And I think this movie is going to lead to like better storytelling, right?
Probably
I think they've already confirmed Superman is making an appearance in this movie.
Yeah.
And there's like, I think The Rock and Henry Cavill had a meeting and they're going to do like a Rock versus Black Adam versus Superman thing and maybe bring in Shazam and, you know, I think they're starting to like build better stories and this might be the one that'll kickstart it all.
The thing that I would argue is that it's not going to be a better story. Better, like, no. There's nothing about this movie Black Adam that tells me at all that we're going to get a good story out of it.
I think this is DC's first like real like anti-hero.
Okay.
So I like Black Adam. I like the character in the comic books. I think he has a really interesting story. Mm-hmm. I feel like The Rock is the right person to play this role. And I just have high expectations for it. Like,
why?
It'll be very disappointing if they fuck this up. With all the hype around it, with all of the talent in this movie, if they manage to fuck this up, it's over.
I'm expecting for them to fuck it up. Like that's the default.
Maybe I'm just an optimist. I'm expecting them to finally deliver.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's making you an optimist for all the elements in this movie. Like The Rock, big action movie. Like, what's the thing that's like, oh yeah, we're really going to get something great here? Like, no, it's got all the hallmarks of a very mediocre, if at best, Rock film.
I don't know. Again, I'm just being optimistic here. I think the cast is great for this movie. I think, he's usually surrounded by like other decent people, but I feel like for this movie, the cast is really good. The Black Adam story is really good. This is he's like playing an anti-hero, which we really haven't gotten from DC just yet. And I like the trailer. The trailer looked fucking fantastic. Visually, it looked great. The costumes look great.
Did it?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think you just want to hate on it.
No,
you really think it was that bad? You really think this was going to be that bad?
No, I'm a fan of The Rock. I just know I'm just honest with myself about the quality of product that he puts out, which is not great. It's not something that I prefer. Let me put it there. Let me state it
That's
like
fair.
that. Not something that I prefer. So,
if you don't have a taste for it, I get that. I just think from what I've seen in the trailers, what I've seen in I've watched like the behind the scenes, the making of the movie thing recently. They've got fucking The Rock in it, Viola Davis, you got Pierce Brosnan, you got Aldous Hodge. I have high expectations for it. I'm going to be an optimist here.
Fair enough. Bless your soul. Tickets to Paradise with Julia Roberts and George Clooney also comes out this coming week. The week after, though, the next week, we get Till, which is the Emmett Till, I guess story. I guess told through the lens, I guess, of his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, Hollywood. I don't know, man. Like I understand the message here. I get it.
With this movie?
Yeah. Still feels kind of not wrong, but just like, I don't know. Something is just like, doesn't taste right about this.
Yeah, I feel like every year or every couple of years they put out these like sad historical black story movies, and why people are like, well, I'm gonna go see it, just to be in there like I'm on the right side of this thing. But, it's kind of like, remember the movie The Help?
Yeah.
Good movie, but it's just kind of like, why is this story why is it being made into a film? You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate the storytelling, but at the same time, it just kind of usually feels just like, hey, we're gonna tell this really fucked up story. It's kind of like what they're doing what Netflix is doing with the whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing. we're going to tell this really fucked up story, and the goal is to like profit from it, right? Let's make some money here off telling this really fucked up story. Like, I don't know how much, and maybe I just need to do my research, but I wonder how much the family was a part of this film, right? How much they got right, how much did they bring in like Emmett Till's mother, his family members, cousins, nieces, nephews, to really make sure that this film was told accurately, and is the family going to receive like anything from having to relive this heartbreaking moment?
I would have to believe that they have to have the family involved in some capacity or another as like producers or whatever the case is. I'd have to believe that without actually like looking that up to verify. But I think for me, I think this is it sort of mimics the Dahmer situation. And now, I guess the thing about this movie is that they're not going to show any sort of like black violence on, I guess on screen. I think is from what I understand is the goal here is not, they're not going to show him getting lynched or anything like that.
This is more so about from his mother's lens
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can't say like it's like, what do you call it? What is the word? Like monetizing like black pain or something like that in terms of like the visuals, but it kind of still is though, because it's like still just like the story of it all. And I don't know, man, it's just like something about like, so for instance, like, and I'm going to go on a journey here, right? So just roll with me. So they show Emmett Till as like this, like almost like angelic kid who's just like happy go lucky all the time, and he's like smiling and just playing. And then all of a sudden, he ends up in this situation. And I think the reason why that gives me pause is because it's to say like, oh, he just can't be a normal kid. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe he gets in trouble, maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe he does some fucked up shit, maybe he doesn't. But he also didn't fucking deserve to die no matter what the fucking case is. You know what I mean? Like, especially in the way that he died, And so when I see shit like that, it's like, I understand what they're trying to do. Like, okay, like here's this good, and he might have been, right? Like I don't know the story that in depth where I'm able to say like, no, he definitely was this way or that way. I have no idea, right? But I just know that this feels like the hallmarks of a Hollywood. Hey, here's this kid who's just really good and funny and everybody loved him and yada yada. But it's like, okay, so then what if you're not that? Does that justify it in some way? You know what I mean? Like, why does he have to be like this like fucking perfect little kid who's just like always smiling and rambunctious and whatever, like, and then now that makes us sad that he died, instead of it being like he's just a fucking kid who didn't deserve that no matter what the fucking case was. I don't care if he's a nice kid, bad kid, whatever the case is, he didn't deserve to have what happened to him. So I think that when I watch this trailer, like that's the thing that kind of comes across to me, is just that, and it goes to like my whole thing of just like, I feel like that's like kind of the fucked up part about being black in America, along with a lot of things, but just like the idea that you can't just be like normal. Like you have to be like you've got to be like, we've got to be gods, right? In order to like feel like we have our place in order. Like, oh, what's up, God? Like
you got to be like squeaky clean in order to even like,
or like the most like powerful thing, right?
Yeah.
Like and it's like how we see ourselves, right? Like it's just like, we can't just be like, I just work at fucking the office building down the street. Like I don't have like this extraordinary job or whatever the case is. I can't, like, that's not good. Like you gotta be like extraordinary.
Yeah, you can't be in the middle. You have to be like this, like really like high, tall. Like you gotta be like fucking Frederick Douglass. Like, people are like, oh, we like Frederick Douglass.
Yeah,
or you gotta be like fucking starving and poor.
Exactly.
Or a slave,
like
or something
it feels
like
like we just can't be just normal fucking people. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm bad.
Yeah.
So I've done some great things, I've done some fucked up things. Like, and it's like I can't just exist in the world as like a normal person. I have to like justify it by like all this other shit. Anyways.
Yeah.
So.
What I feel, what's more interesting about this is this film is coming out, and earlier this year, and I'll just read an excerpt from this article. So the woman who essentially lied and the woman who caused this lynching of
didn't she like
Emmett
admit
Till,
it like on her deathbed or something like that?
Her name is Carolyn Bryant Donham. She's still alive.
Oh, did she die?
Nope.
When was this article written?
So this is August 9th. It was updated August 9th, 2022.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure she's still alive.
Okay.
So a Mississippi grand jury has declined to indict the white woman whose accusations set off the lynching of black teenager Emmett Till nearly 70 years ago. I believe this happened earlier this year, actually, they declined to indict her. So this like black organization like found out who she is, where she's living. I think she was living in like somewhere in Indiana or something like that at the time.
Yeah.
And all in all, they essentially just declined to. So there was an arrest warrant out for her, right? That is like, essentially like 70-year-old arrest warrant at this point in time. And so she should have been arrested. She should have been brought up on charges. But we know that the police during this time were not going to arrest this white woman so the arrest warrant was never served, or it was issued, but it was never like acted upon.
Mm-hmm.
So 70 years later, she's just, a woman living her normal life despite what her actions caused. And yet still now granted, she's 87 years old now. So it's like, do you arrest an 87-year-old woman for something she did, 70 years ago? Yeah. In my opinion, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when we look at the way he had to die, I think she should die in jail as well. But I don't know if his family will ever see justice. And now they have a movie coming out about what happened. And it's like, I just don't know where the family sees justice for what happened to their loved one.
I mean, I would
unless
argue,
they're profiting from this film. But even that,
yeah, I would argue
that's
there
not
is no
justice.
Yeah. But I think that's a kind of more of like a philosophical question of just like, can we tell stories about real life pain in some sort of in a more ethical way, right? Mm-hmm. Like, is there an ethical way to tell these stories and to have it be a part of like this Hollywood system where there's profits and margins and all this other shit that has nothing to do with the actual inherent story or the pain itself? I was again, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant tangent here, but I was listening to this song yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. It's a song I've listened to I've listened to it plenty of times before, but every now and then I get like curious about like some lyrics or whatever in a song. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck does this mean? Like, where does this song come from? Like, I want to know like the background of it. Like, what was the person thinking? Like, some songs are like really cryptic and you just don't know.
Yeah.
And so like that makes me curious of just like, well, what was like the genesis of this song? And so I looked it up, and the song was actually about the guy who wrote it. His brother got sentenced to like life in jail, right? And he wrote it out of that, like, kind of like the pain of having to watch his brother to, go to jail for basically like the rest of his life. And the reason why I was like, okay, I think that this feels like true art to me is because you're trying to use the art to deal with that, the raw pain. This isn't about like love. It's not about like a romantic relationship. It's not about something commercial. It's about just dealing with that pain.
Yeah.
And I think that's what dog's crazy. That's what I feel like that's what's kind of like missing in a lot of these like Hollywood productions, is that it's not just trying to work out the pain. It's not like his family like sat down and wrote this movie and they're trying to tell it from like their perspective of like and again, maybe they did. I don't know. I was not in the writer's room for this one, so yeah. I don't know. But I know that generally speaking, when we see these Hollywood movies, whatever the subject matter is, it's probably not being written from that perspective. There's a writer who comes in and is like, okay, I hear your story and here's how we're going to do this. Whereas I feel like I love to know that that's why I love like writer directors, because it's being told from they're trying to work something out in their mind and they're using this medium to do it. Whereas this feels like, oh, here's this story that everybody knows. We just want to write about it because it's a thing to write about, or it's like a new production to do. And there's nothing really being worked out. You know what I mean? Like, there's not, I don't know. I don't know if what I'm saying is like making any sense, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always struggle with like, do I go see this movie to be to like understand that the story that they're trying to tell in this film, because I've only really ever read about it, right? So do I go see it and support it and be a part of like learning new things about the story that I don't yet understand, but also like still being very much a part of the success of this film, because I do think it is important for films like these to not just be like, in theaters for 4 weeks and then gone, and then like some other shit comes up about like nothing that's really important or meaningful throughout like the history of this country. And then we just like, sweep it under the rug. Or like, if I don't want to go see this movie, if it's not something that like really speaks to me, like is that, am I kind of like shitty for not wanting to go see Till? You know,
Not in my opinion, not.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think if I choose not to go see this movie, maybe I don't have the money to go see it, or maybe
Because
I
at the
just
end of
don't
the
want to see
day,
it.
I don't know what, and I guess I could look this up, but like at the end of the day, this is going to some rich, I'm assuming rich white dude's pocket at the, like when you follow the trail.
More than likely.
More than likely,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to some movie studio who's probably, you know, owned right now by some rich white dude, you know? So like, it's like,
Yeah.
who the fuck are we really helping?
Yeah,
You know?
I can still learn about the story without seeing this movie, right? But
Yeah.
like, I also feel like, movies like these, sometimes it is important to see and take your white friends with you. Make them feel
just
guilty.
just to experience the uncomfortable nature of having to, you know, just like, are you, you know, look
Go
over
get
a
drinks
little bit.
afterwards. They're like,
Yeah.
I got this. Don't worry, I'll pay. It's like, damn right, David.
Yeah, let's move on, man. You know, there's some other headlines. I did see that Bill Murray has some new allegations against him.
Apparently, he's been terrorizing Hollywood for years.
Yo, like, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. This is pretty much on brand with who I like. You know, when they got Vince McMahon, right, for his, you know, basically paying, I guess, women off that he's slept with, or I don't think it's like misconduct that they're trying to say that he did, but basically just trying to keep women quiet that I'm sure that he had affairs with at minimum. It's kind of like, yeah, like, do we not all think that this was actually I felt like we were all operating under the assumption that this was already happening.
We knew this, didn't we?
Yeah,
Did you know? I thought you knew.
Yeah, like I thought we all knew that this was actually going on. So it's not like an expose. It's like revealed Vince McMahon has been sleeping with some of his employees.
Certain people,
wrestlers.
you
It's
just I'm not so like whenever I hear some crazy shit about Kanye, I'm just like, it's Kanye. I get
it's on
it.
brand. Yeah.
But so more and more stories are coming out around how about how like Bill Murray throughout the years, and people fucking love Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I don't
why truly get it myself.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
If I look at the catalog of all of his movies, I mean, Ghostbusters was good. Groundhog Day was okay.
I don't think it's the catalog of movies. I think it's Murray himself. Like whether or not his movie, the movies themselves, I think are any good. I think people praise Murray because, and I get it a little bit in terms of just like his deadpan, delivery. You know, his sense of humor. I think is what people can appreciate about him. And I think that I do too, but I don't think to the degree of. And I missed. Was he on Saturday Night Live? Do I have that right?
Yeah, I think he was on SNL. Yeah,
maybe I don't. We might be wrong about that, and I know we can probably like look that.
No, yeah, he was on SNL
as a cast member, not just like as a host.
Yeah, I think a cast member.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say like I just missed that entire era, so I never got Bill Murray on SNL. So I don't know him as that. Most I know, or the beginnings of what I know him as is Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, just some of these movies. That like were maybe mid to late 80s, 90s, you know. And so watching it, and I think the last movie I remember him being in, it was a Wes Anderson movie.
So there was a movie he recently did with Quincy Jones.
Rashida Jones. Yeah. I haven't seen that.
I saw it. It was pretty good. I actually liked it.
Yeah. And I always loved him obviously in Lost in Translation. I thought he was brilliant in that. But again, like I just never really got why everybody kind of goes batshit crazy for like, oh my God, Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I
don't love his shit. His shit is not that good.
I mean, but it's
good.
It's good.
He's done some good shit, but it's not like. But it's not a fucking.
Like, who would you?
I get why people love George Clooney. You know what I mean? But
no,
like,
I don't.
Really?
Either. Yeah. Why do people love George Clooney?
He's just like he's fun and charming, and like his movies are pretty good. He does a good job. Like he's in my opinion, George Clooney is a very good actor. Like he has the ability to like change.
I would argue Bill Murray's a better actor than
no
George Clooney. You might think George Clooney's more charismatic, which is perfectly fine. I get why you would say that, but I think Bill Murray's a better actor than George Clooney.
No, I don't know about this. I don't know if there's any. I don't know. Like give me one like bit of supporting evidence for that.
Again, like Lost in Translation. I thought
I never seen it.
Fair enough. But it was with Scarlett Johansson, and I thought there's that single performance for me trumps anything that. And I'm ashamed that we can't even use the word fucking Trump anymore. Like I need to be able to use the word. I don't give a fuck. No one. No. I'm not saying that. No, I care. Like it just sounds wrong when I say it now. Like when I say it, I'm like, oh God, I immediately start thinking of Trump. But that movie to me trumped anything that like what else could like what is George Clooney done to be like a better performance than, and I know you didn't see it, so it's hard for you to say, but yeah, I don't like name to me like 2 or 3 like really fucking memorable, like, oh my God, he blew this away with his acting. Not the movie itself, right? Mm-hmm. But the actual acting.
So I really liked his character, and this is just maybe I'm just being like nostalgic, but remember the movie Out of Sight with Jennifer Lopez? I thought he did really well in that movie. He was everything that character needed to be. But the movie that stands out to me the most, that was just one of my favorite George Clooney movies.
I'm not giving you
the movie that standed out to me the most, where I was just like, yo, this dude can act. Remember the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. That's
stellar performance in that movie. And the scene where he's singing, that he really trained with a voice coach too, and so that was really him perform. So not only is he great acting here, he also learned to sing for the fucking movie, which is I thought was stellar. I mean, then we got to look at Ocean's 11. Like,
yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Come on,
not the movie.
I'm talking about his performance in Ocean's 11 was. I mean, he made the movie. Him and Brad Pitt and Matt Damon.
Him and the other 89 A-list actors.
Who do you remember arguably the most from that movie?
Honestly,
George Clooney.
Brad Pitt. I'll be honest.
I would say Clooney.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just saying that I personally think that Bill Murray is a better actor than George Clooney. George Clooney clearly more charismatic. You know, just all around. You know, Bill Murray looks like he's actively dying as we're watching him.
Probably the same age too.
Bill Murray's old as fuck. Bill Murray's really.
Let's see. George Clooney was born in 1961.
Yeah, Murray's born in like maybe the 40s, 30s, maybe.
Bill Murray was born.
The dude was 65 in like 1962.
Where the fuck was he born? He was born in 1950.
Yeah.
So he's 10 years older.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like about 30 years old.
Yeah, it looks like Bill Murray could be George Clooney's like father.
100%.
But they're only 10 years apart.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, that might have been possible back in the day.
Maybe. I don't know.
Dark joke. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, Bill Murray faces allegations. A new report from Puck this week alleges that Bill Murray has paid $100,000 settlement to a much younger female crew member on the film Being Mortal, the production of which Deadline first reported in April was being suspended. And I believe this is Aziz Ansari. Aziz
Ansari?
Wait, is that his name?
Yeah.
Why does it sound weird when I say it?
No, that's right.
No, Aziz. No. I'm fucking this up somehow. Hold on.
So while we go into that, like, so you know, there are a bunch of
Aziz Ansari,
yeah.
I don't know why that
we're questioning this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm drunk.
So what happened on the set of this?
So the report alleges that Murray, 72, kissed and straddled the woman on.
How does he? He's too old to straddle
what the fuck
anyone.
You're too old to be
so
kissing.
Straddling someone is where like the person is seated and then he just came over and kind of like sat on their lap, you know, facing each other, right? And then kissed her apparently. How the fuck could he physically do that at his age?
Yeah.
And that's also disgusting, sir. You're 70 years old. 85 maybe.
Why? What?
I'm not going to do the math, but I'm just going to say he's between 70 and 85.
You to believe that this was a correct action? Like even for somebody.
And how old was the woman? And not that her age matters.
I would argue, yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
But it's like, yo, she's like your fucking granddaughter's age, and you're going to kiss her and
I don't
why
care
is that
if
appropriate
she's the same age as Bill Murray. Like at 70 fucking 2.
Yeah, even if she was 74, like,
what are you doing?
You're going to kill her. Get off of her.
Yo, like, what are you fucking doing, dude? Like,
yeah.
Yo,
I don't care who you are or like how much money you have or how famous you are. Like,
bruh,
there are certain things like your money cannot buy any like acceptance for your behavior when you're doing certain things.
I'm sure Bill Murray's been doing shit like this for forever, and everybody's just been like, well, it's Bill being Bill, Bill, that's just how Bill gets down, but it's like, what would possession, like, even I understand that of a certain age and of a certain time period, people did crazy shit that, people from the Cosby era, right? Like, they apparently thought some things were appropriate when I feel like normal people would be like, no, that's not normal. That's not what people fucking do. That's just you. Like, I understand that people from that era, right? But this says he kissed and straddled a woman on set. If you're Bill Murray at 72 years old, what mind frame do you have to fucking be in to be like, I'm just going to do it?
I don't give a fuck. I don't give people the excuse of being from like a different era, from a different time. Like, well, I grew up. I don't give a fuck when you grew up. You know, what is today? If you can tell me what today is, if you can be like, yo, today is, fucking Saturday, October 15th, 2022, you know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah. You know what you're doing. You know better. I don't care if you were born in the 50s or the 60s. I don't care about what
I think it does. I think it does matter the culture of wherever you're at. Meaning that if you're
like today, if we were in fucking Chechnya and in Chechnya, you can smack anyone on the butt. Like, all right, maybe it's a cultural thing. You just smack whoever on the butt, a dog, a person.
I would argue that's a little different, like in terms of, but it's like you're right. Like if you're Bill Murray in 2022 in America on a film set, you know what the fuck's going on
with a bunch of people around, and it's like, and this is
even
not
a
around. Consensual thing at all. You weren't asked to do this. You know what was going on. And I mean, there are a bunch of stories coming out around Hollywood. I was reading this one about Gina Davis. You remember Gina Davis, right?
Yeah.
She was like, I think they did this film back in like the 90s called like Quick Change, and during the film, he like
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray and Gina Davis did this film Quick Change back in the 90s. And like on set, he would like yell at her. He would like curse at her. He would comment on her body. He would like just terrorized her during the filming of this movie. And then you hear stuff about like Charlie's Angels, where didn't he make like a racial joke towards
Lucy
Liu, and then there's a story that I read about how he and the director were at odds, and he just kind of like headbutted the director.
What?
It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, so like apparently this guy's pretty much a dick, and he's been a dick for a long time. Why people still love this guy so much, I don't know.
Well, because people build mystiques, right? People build like, it's like Bill Murray. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of how like you talk about like.
And don't turn your back to Bill.
Well, yeah, like people have these like strange.
That's not a. Why are you telling me this as if it's an okay thing?
Yeah, like but this is how Hollywood is, right? You get yourself to a certain stature, and then it becomes almost like impossible. Like you become above reproach. Like you can't. Now it doesn't fucking matter what Bill does. It's like you can't really say that he's doing wrong, right?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, we just know how Bill is. He just gets a little playful sometimes.
Like imagine how many people knew about Bill Cosby, right? And it's like, people probably like jokingly warn other people like, don't drink the drinks at Cosby's house. Bring your own. You know what I mean?
Or like it's like the Soldier Boy thing. Yeah, where he's like, man, I gotta make some strong drinks.
Gotta make some strong drinks. And it's like, yo, if you knew, you should have like, don't casually warn me. You should have actually been like, hey, this guy's pretty fucked up.
He's a fucking predator.
Things.
So anyways, that's whatever. I'm done talking about that. Bill Murray is and then I don't know, man. I just don't get shit like this. I just don't. Like, generally speaking, keep your fucking hands to, like, so for instance, like this past week with Devontae Adams, right, where he shoved the and everybody keeps saying he's a camera guy. Is he a camera guy? I didn't see him holding a camera. It was he was holding like a light pole or some shit.
He was holding either
it was like a C-stand that he was holding.
He was holding something, some type of like recording equipment. He
took a picture of, like, I think he seemed like he was like a photographer.
May have been, yeah.
Yeah, because he like, I feel like when he was falling, I guess he must have taken a picture of Devontae or something, because you could see Devontae like looking down at the fucking camera.
Gotta get the shot.
Yeah, you gotta get the shot.
That's the shot in court where you're like, Your Honor, Exhibit A. That's the paycheck shot right there.
Yeah. And again, this is a complete side tangent, but like this whole thing, should Devontae have done that? Clearly no, right? Like, it's fucked up. there's no real excuse, right? Because I keep wondering, like, yo, what if it was like Devontae's wife that was like just happened to be passing by in front of him at that exact moment? You telling me he'd fucking shove his wife to the ground? No, you just thought, fuck this guy, right? Like, that's all you thought in your head was, or like if it was like an old lady, like you told me Devontae would have been like, man, fuck this old lady, like it pushed her. No, so it's like, yo, make fucking reasonable decisions, dude. Like, don't fucking just go around shoving people. I don't care if they're walking in front of you or not, right? But then
if it was that woman who lied about Emmett Till, you can shove her. Push that bitch from the top floor. Wait till bring her up, then push her down.
All right. So everybody except for her, right? But then people like kind of take it to extremes where they're like, man, this guy Devontae, his, I was a fan of him before, but just like knowing his character now, it's just like, yeah, does that define his character? Like, really,
dick move for sure. And then like he's obviously this like big time football player, this rich guy, everyone loves him, and then he's like kind of taking his anger out for losing a game on this like poor camera guy who's he's just definitely not doing. Yeah, he's just doing his job. He just happened to be like standing in Devontae's way.
I will argue. There was no reason for that dude to be like literally, because it almost looked as if he was going to run into Devontae regardless.
Yeah, I will say that there are times when I've seen like professional athletes, like especially after the game, all the news reporters and all the media people, they're like rushing to like get their little quick sound bite so they can go like write their article or whatever. Yeah. And I've seen times where it's just like, yo, like get the fuck out of that person's way. Yeah. I would hate to just 500 reporters like, oh, Devontae, how do you feel about
sucking so hard?
Like, I just lost the game, a tough loss too. Like, that might have, if they didn't collide, him and what was it, Renfro or whatever?
Hunter Renfro.
If they didn't collide, that might have turned into like a game-winning play. So like I would understand that this guy probably has a lot of emotions, and it's obviously his testosterone. He's probably angry as fuck right now. He's frustrated. He's get the fuck out of this guy's way.
But but that's why I'm saying like it also doesn't, like, I understand.
Yeah, his behavior is not excused.
It's not excusable.
But one step to the left or the right, that guy would have probably been perfectly fine.
Exactly.
Why are you right in front of me
at that exact moment in time?
Yeah, you just saw what happened.
And again, that's why I said like it looked like they were going to collide regardless, and Devontae just took it to a fucking extreme by like just shoving him to the ground.
Have you ever pushed anybody and I felt bad about it or didn't?
No. I think generally like I just don't put my hands on people unless it's like, okay, this is about to happen, so like let's fucking go.
Yeah.
That's the only time where I've exchanged any sort of like other than that, like I don't at least I can't recall. Maybe somebody might fucking hit me up on a podcast like, you motherfucker.
Hey, you pushed me that one. Listen, if you've ever been pushed by Tunde and you're watching this live,
hit the podcast up. Let's
call in.
Hit up the comment section.
Oh man, I have a favorite push. This was years ago.
Okay,
this is a good push. I don't know why I remember this push so much. But I was out in Adams Morgan one time, right? I think it was like during Halloween or something like that.
Yeah,
everyone's drunk and being crazy. And I remember there was this guy, and I remember I seen him coming down. And he was just like jumping up and down, like knocking into people and whatnot.
And I think
he had like a box of pizza.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this guy, and like busy sidewalk, and he's just like being ridiculous on the sidewalk. I'm like, yo, dude, like, and I think I already wasn't in a good mood. And I remember I think he both like stepped on my shoes and like bumped me, and I just gave him this like good push. And there happened to be a tree right there, so like,
oh no,
I didn't push him into the tree. Like, so I pushed him, and then like, I think the tree hit his like back shoulder.
So you pushed him into the tree. That's what you're trying to say.
Kind of. And then he did like a spin fall.
Jesus Christ.
Out into like.
Yeah. Does this end with this dude dying in traffic?
He survived, but I think I'm pretty sure. Survived. I'm pretty sure after this push, he calmed the fuck down. He's a different person. Yeah. But like, he like hit the tree and he like twisted as he was falling, and his pizza fell.
As I asked you, did you push him into the tree? You're like, no, I didn't push him into the tree. And then
I pushed him, and I didn't push him into the tree with intent. The tree just happened to be there.
Does intent matter?
And the tree was probably there for like 500 years. You know what I mean? So
whose fault is it? Really?
It's his fault for falling into the tree. The tree deserved much more respect than it got in this moment.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. No, but I
good push though. I don't know where that guy is, but if he hits the comment sections, no, I don't apologize.
but anyways, like people are like, oh man, like Devontae has bad character now, and again, this is like I don't know if this is necessarily like a racial issue, but it's just like, yo, come on. So because he did this one thing that then like, it's not like he's a person who's like serious. Like I actually remember him, like it was a play where he caught the ball or something like that, or he was about to catch the ball and he like fell out of bounds and he like ran into somebody and he like
helped them up.
And
I think it was like it was like the camera woman. He like ran into her and he like stopped and helped her up.
Or it was like a dude that he ran into and like he like fixed the guy's hat or whatever like that. Like, and NFL players run people over all the time, and then they just, and it bothers me that they just then turn around and then act like they didn't even do that and just keep, go back to like the huddle. It's like, yo, you just ran down a 64-year-old dude, like help him up, like, or do something. And so it's just like to have this then now be like, oh, well, this, tells us everything we need to know about Davante Adams. Like, fuck what he's done before. Fuck what he'll do after.
Anyone who says this thing, this tells me everything I need to know. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. I bet the people who are the most upset about this probably are people who are not Raiders fans, right? Who don't even really watch football. I mean,
that's a lot of people who aren't Raiders fans.
Sure, so. But like, Raiders fans, like, you know what? Like,
because they're Raiders fans.
Yeah, they're Raiders. Sure. But like, people who aren't just looking for, now I can hate the guy. Now I can dislike, or people who don't even watch football just saw the video, like, he's an asshole. It's like, he's probably done 1,000 things to help 1,000 people.
So
push this one guy.
What matters more then? Does it matter all the shit that you've done before it if you do a really fucked up thing? Now, I'm not saying that what Davante did was like the most fucking egregious, like fucking unwarranted. Like if he stabbed an intern in the like kidney or whatever. Yeah, I don't think because he was upset. Like, I don't think he would be like, we can forgive him for this. Like,
2 years ago, he served soup at the homeless shelter. Like, no, I mean, I don't know. It's not like a Libra scale, right? You're not like weighing the shit, right? I don't think you could have done 1,000 kind deeds and then you do one really bad thing. And yes, that one really bad thing will weigh more heavily on how people view you than the 1,000 good deeds you've done.
This actually ties into the Halloween movie, actually. Halloween Ends.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to see it, and then it may like hit me as I'm watching the movie.
Oh, you'll get it soon enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. That didn't sound good.
You'll
get it soon enough.
Right?
That sounded very like you've got yours coming, buddy.
Yeah, I saw the funniest shit online. They were like, how do white people say, or what is the white people's way of saying you must got me fucked up? And then like the response was,
you've got another thing coming.
It was something. Oh fuck! What was it?
Does it have pal in it?
No. Something buddy. Something buddy. It was like, not today, buddy, or something like that.
Up. Yeah, it's probably something like, not today, buddy.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, this shit
what
is
it?
Accurate. It was, oh fuck.
So if a black person, you must got me fucked up. White person's like, it is something with buddy or pal, depending on where you are regionally. Yeah, I need to know the answer to this.
Yeah, keep stalling for me as I look this up.
White equivalents to shit it's always funny. What is the? I saw one recently too. Like, you know how like black people, when somebody say like you good, we just immediately know what that means based off of their like tone of voice, the inflection, what word they emphasize, and then like how in what moment they're saying the thing. There's like a white version to that I saw like on fucking Instagram one day. It was so funny. It's like, how are you? How are you? We're like, you good? Like, how
it was Newsflash, buddy.
Oh my god! Yes, that is a direct equivalent.
You must got me fucked up. Newsflash, buddy.
Oh my god, that is accurate as fuck.
Yo, I was crying for like an hour when I first read that shit.
You know when you hear a joke so good, you're just like, I wish I said that. So remind you.
I wish I didn't hear it so I can hear it again for the first time again.
Oh man, that was good.
That shit is hilarious. Newsflash, buddy. And I know like the finger wag,
the finger point. You gotta do it.
Newsflash, buddy.
That is probably one of the most accurate things I've heard in a while.
Oh my god. Oh, that shit is hilarious. All right, let's move on. I think we got there with the whole Bill Murray thing. Somehow that all started with the Bill Murray thing. Okay, let's. What do we want to do first? Do we want to let's talk about some of these things first before we get to our trailers, right?
Yeah, let's wrap with the trailers.
Yeah. So first, let's talk about Blade.
Oh my god, heartbreaking for
Yo,
me because
holy shit.
this is the one Marvel project that I've been waiting on
I know.
forever. Ever since they announced
Actually, you were
it.
the first person I thought about when I heard about this. I was like, "Fuck." I'm really
Yeah.
gonna be
Oh my
upset.
god, I was so I almost I wanted to call somebody, but I didn't know who to call. So
Talk this through.
so the highly anticipated Blade. What would you call it? It's like the revival, the rebirth, reboot, right? So let's rewind a little bit. So I believe this was like 2 years ago at this point. Mahershala Ali, did I say that right?
Mahershala, yeah.
Mahershala. So he was announced at I believe it was like a Marvel Con as or was it Comic Con?
Yeah, I believe it was Comic Con.
Was it D23? What is that?
I believe it was D23 is different than Comic Con.
Oh, every year it's D21, D20. I think it was like
I think
it's always D23.
I believe. Yeah.
I guess it is not 2023. It is, so it would have been D22 if they were going by a year. I don't know.
I think it's D23.
Yeah, let's just go.
That's just the name of the thing.
They announced that Mahershala Ali was going to take on the role of Blade, and I loved it just because, like, I'm like, yo, he's the right guy. It just made immediate sense. Wesley Snipes supported it, and I'm like, fuck yeah, we've got the previous Blade, and he's immediately like, yes, that guy should be the new Blade. I just loved everything about it. I love Blade's story. And I love the story of how that movie is really what led to the Marvel that we have today, right? Marvel was going bankrupt back in, I think 1998 is when that first Blade movie came out. And if it wasn't for the success of that first Blade film starring Wesley Snipes, we wouldn't have gotten that was the first successful Marvel trilogy. Now, some people will say the third movie wasn't that great.
I wouldn't argue that it was.
But the first two Blade movies were stellar.
Sure.
And then the third one, they brought in Ryan Reynolds. They brought in who was it? Jessica Biel. And, Triple H was in it.
I mean, Triple H was fine. Everything was good except for Dracula. The dude they had the dude from Prison Break.
Yeah,
as
he's not who I would have casted. If I were the casting director, this guy.
It's not even. I don't even know if it's the fact that they casted him. It's just that they made him so stupid. Like they just made everything about the movie really fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There was a lot of things I would have done differently about that third Blade movie.
Yeah.
But either way, for the most part, the trilogy was a success, right? Yeah. And then that led to the MCU that we have today. Yeah. So again, love that backstory, and then love that they're bringing this back, which is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
However, there have been some trouble in the waters, right? Yeah. I'm just gonna read this excerpt here. Though Marvel's been hyping up its new Blade feature for quite some time, the studio's now pumping the brakes on the production as it looks for a new director and takes a crack at getting the story just right. According to Hollywood Reporter, Marvel has shut down production on Blade entirely in Atlanta following former director Bassam Tariq's move to step back from the project last month. While the studio hopes to start production back up early next year after finding a new director, blah, blah, blah. Blade is ultimately being pushed to, I believe it's like June of 2024. Mm-hmm. So I think we were anticipating it in 2023. Mm-hmm. I think like November 2023. So they're pushing it back 6 to 9 months, if not more. Because bringing a director on, right, that's a crucial step in the execution of this film. Like you have to have someone who has the right vision, the ability to tell that story and bring it all together. And losing a director, I think they were in pre-production. So losing a director, not in like, it's still being written. It's in like pre-production, right? For the most part, the film or the storyboard is there. Yeah. So you lose the director at a crucial moment in putting together this project. Now you have to bring in someone else. You have to get them up to speed. They're going to have their own vision. That may conflict with like what's already in place. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to change.
And I don't know what the reason was for him to leave the production.
They didn't provide any any real insight into why he departed.
Yeah. So what that's got me to think, it can be a number of different things, and I don't claim to have like fucking insider knowledge of exactly what the fuck happened here. But generally speaking, I think when stuff like this happens, it's due to one of two things. One, the director, they can't fit into the mold that the producers are trying to fit them into, right? So basically, they brought him on because it's like, oh hey, like you've done some other work that we appreciate. We think you'd be good for this. But then when you start trying to add in like your flavor to it, they're like, I don't know. I don't know if that works. And then somebody along the way says, hey, newsflash, buddy. And then shit's fucked up thereafter, right? Or the case is that this was truly just like a conflict between like schedules and shit like that, and you just know that you're not going to be able to dedicate the time that's appropriate for this type of production. I would have to be inclined to believe that it's more of a and because of how sudden it all feels, where it's just like, okay, we're going into pre-production. I feel like it's more of a clash of creative styles, that perhaps he wanted to do something a little bit of his own flavor, and Marvel is just like, nah.
Yeah, as long as they don't bring in the people who were a part of any of the shitty Marvel movies, like Captain Marvel. Don't bring in that person.
How'd I know you?
Don't bring in Iron Man 3 people. Don't bring in fucking the Eternals people. Like, don't do it. Don't bring in fucking WandaVision people. Bring in the Winter Soldier people. Bring in fucking Endgame. Bring in the Russos. What are they doing? Well, just fucking rehire them.
Yeah, I think
bring in Wesley Snipes. He should be like he should be counsel or something like that. If Wesley Snipes isn't a part of this project,
what would Wesley Snipes even be like? What would he do? Like,
just be on just vibes. Just come every day dressed as Blade still. He's a consultant. Daywalker wouldn't do that. Daywalker would do it. I just want him on as like a production consultant, a fucking writer. He could be in the writer's room or something. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Just have him on set.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they've got going on with this movie, but I do think it's very unfortunate, given that I too was really anticipating this Blade movie, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit different than a lot of the things that we've gotten, that we're now starting to cross between Doctor Strange and WandaVision. We're now starting to get into sort of the more mystic side of Marvel, and I think Blade and it's weird. So, have you finished She-Hulk yet?
I've seen them. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So then, and spoiler alert for anybody else who, and you have like a little dog hair or whatever on your beard. It's been there from like the beginning of the show, and I just didn't tell you. So
really?
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I know.
It's not dog hair.
Yikes. But so, fuck. What was I even saying? She-Hulk. Where they introduced vampires. Like, they kind of just did it super fucking like low key too, where the dude, the black guy, he's like a vampire, and it's just like they just kind of glossed over it.
Yeah. When she was at
like the little retreat
thing.
Yeah.
But was he a real vampire, or was he a fake vampire?
What would be the difference?
But he might, like, for example, like there are the guy who wore the suit and he had the rocket boots. Like, he wasn't a real superhero. He was just like a fake superhero.
Oh, no.
Right?
I think this dude was legit an actual fucking like vampire.
Okay. So, I mean, and Blade was also introduced at the end of the Eternals in one of the post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
I think they had his sword or something like that.
Yeah, but they just had it. They just had his voice, and like but this was like a full on.
Oh yeah, it was just a voice.
He's a vampire, you know, like and so anyways, so I think it seems like they're gearing up for this more like mystic side and stuff that's not just like, oh, he got his powers from like super soldier serum or fucking radiation from, that's how he's the Hulk.
Yeah, he's not a mutant. He's like a real fucking vampire. Yeah.
Actual vampire,
So I think there are a lot of opportunities to still introduce a character in upcoming projects. Like, we've got the Spider-Man. There's like a 4th movie coming, right?
They say, yeah.
Yeah. So if you follow the comic books, I think Blade and Spider-Man team up against there's like the vampire guy. I forget his name.
Morbius?
Both Morbius, and there's like another vampire character set in like that world. I forget his name though. It wasn't Morbius. And Blade and Spider-Man team up against that motherfucker.
I'm pretty sure that was Morbius. I'm confident that was Morbius.
I gotta look this up. I gotta do the Googles.
Yeah, and I don't even know about the comics, but I know that was something in the Spider-Man, the animated show from the 90s. Was that Spider-Man and Blade teamed up against?
So
Morbius.
Blade is like the Eric Cross character. He was in the comic books with Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure it was like where they're teaming up to fight some, because it was like some guy that Gwen was dating, and then I think
Morbius.
Was that Morbius?
Yeah, I don't know how many times I have to say it.
All right, I'm gonna believe you. Feel like you might be lying.
No, because I actually just watched this not too long ago.
All right, that's fair. But so yeah, obviously we got the Morbius movie, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of Morbius, they teased some like Venom mix up, right?
Not planning to.
And then in I think at the end of the Venom movie, there was they showed like a clip of like Spider-Man, and Venom was like, I don't like that guy, right? So there's potential here for a lot of mashup. With this production essentially halting, I wonder if they're still going to introduce that character in some way, shape, or form. Exactly. It would be a shame not to, because people have been waiting on it, and we just want to see a little bit of it. It's just,
but
want to see a little.
But I wonder
little nip slip.
If this,
everyone loves a little nip slip,
except for fucking Fox or NBC, whatever station that was with.
Remember when Janet was on the Super Bowl, and they were, oh man, is that a titty?
Exactly.
Like, who doesn't like titties?
Apparently, people watching the Super Bowl that year.
I want to meet someone who complained about that. I'm like, why did you care?
It was offensive to your eyes.
You like titties. That's Janet Jack. And it wasn't just any titty.
Well, that's what
it was Miss Jackson's titty.
That's the argument, right? You can't just be fucking eating nachos and then all of a sudden see a titty when you're not like trying to. You gotta be warned.
Who?
I feel like you gotta be warned about seeing.
No, like, I never need a titty warning.
Okay, so I could just whip out my dick anywhere? No.
Well, a dick is different.
Why?
It's just unsightly. Titties are always pleasant. Very different.
To you, not to everybody, all right?
Titties have a sweetness to it. Whipping out a dick is just like, I think
that's milk that you're
lime juice splashed in your eye. It's just unpleasant.
All right, let's get off this subject, okay? Let's just.
You're the one who.
No, I did not bring that up. You just kept talking about it. It's like
you brought the dick into play. That's where shit goes like weird. You know what I mean? I was pleasant conversation about nip slips.
All right, let's get off of that. Blade. It's unfortunate what's happening with Blade. Hopefully, I would argue that maybe this will lead to a better project than maybe we would have gotten otherwise. We'll see. Time will.
Yeah, I hope this movie's gonna be like 4 hours long. I don't give a
Probably
fuck.
not. They'll give Blade a cool hour 45 minutes.
No, if it's less than 2 hours, I'm gonna be highly disappointed.
I would think. Yeah,
gotta be. There's a lot of story to tell about the Daywalker.
Fair enough. But what I'm hoping is that the project, this doesn't seem like it's like Marvel's thing, but I'm hoping that the project just doesn't fall apart altogether.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, because between schedules, Marshall Ali's, I'm sure, is pretty fucking busy guy.
Yeah, right? He's not like just sitting around waiting.
Yeah, for Blade to happen, right? So I'm hoping that all can kind of work itself out, and they can find a director to direct the movie sooner rather than later.
Yeah, fuck it. Listen, if whatever reason he's on another project, or decommits, let's bring Wesley back. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they won't do that. Wesley seems
CGI like him, make him look a lot younger than he actually is.
I don't know, man. He still looks pretty.
He still looks
young.
good.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the next thing here. Let's talk about a very unfortunate thing. We're talking about with Halloween ends. It's an end of an era. At least a new era, I guess, with Halloween, since it's a reboot essentially of the franchise, and so that's an end of an era. We got some unfortunate news this past week that there's also another end to an era. This time with something that basically, if you were a kid in the 90s, right? If you were a kid in the 90s, you were raised, and I don't think I'm exaggerating that, right? You were literally raised by Cartoon Network.
I would run home. To watch some Cartoon Network shit.
Fucking what I love what you've been doing on IG, where
I gotta spread the word. You
gotta spread the word, but also like all the old shit of just like some of their because I remember some of those promos that they would do where it was just like they would show like some, they would, between like Gundam or like DBZ or like whatever the fuck else, right?
That beat was hard too. That little intermission beat. Remember that little robot?
Yeah, man.
He would just be in the spaceship, in the studio, just cooking up beats. Oh man, I love
on Fruity Loops or whatever the fuck he was probably using.
That was just a happy time in life, right? So what I want to do really quickly. So I'm sorry. I want to let you finish.
No,
and
no,
then
you go.
So Cartoon Network is officially, essentially like not closing its doors as Cartoon Network, and they're merging with what company they're merging with?
I'm sorry, or Warner Brothers is merging with Discovery.
Okay, so and then Cartoon Network.
But that merger has already happened. But they're basically just like kind of like cleaning house now.
Yeah,
as they've done with like basically like they did some shit like they shut down CNN Plus. I think they're streaming their attempt, I guess, at a streaming platform. So they shut that shit down. They're doing some shit with taking a lot of shit off of HBO Max. And I also don't think it's going to be even HBO Max anymore. I think they're going to I don't know. They're going to do some shit with that.
It's too much shit going on here.
So I'm going to say some shit about this whole sort of like merger, right? And I guess Channing Dunny is the new head of this Warner Bros. Discovery conglomerate. So Discovery comes from a place of, hey, we have all of these like TLC shows. We've got all these, like basically reality shows, essentially. So we have a formula that works. Warner seems to have been just shitting the pot for a while, and I don't even know if that's a term, shitting the pot. It feels like it's
shitting the bed. I don't think you shit the pot.
Well, you're on the pot.
Is that what people call the toilet?
I believe, yeah.
I never heard anyone refer to the toilet as a pot.
Shit or get off the pot, or shit or get off the can.
I've heard it referred to as the can.
The can, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's been shitting the can.
Yeah, you fucked that. You fucked that one up.
All right. So basically, Warner has been kind of fucking shit up as of especially as of like the last like decade or so, right? In terms of taking on these like projects and aspirations that clearly a little bit ill-advised, one might say. And Discovery is basically coming in and essentially just cleaning house, right? Let's get rid of all the dead weight. Let's why are we taking on all these projects when we know we can't support them? Yada yada, right? I think the problem is, and when at the beginning of when this started happening with like CNN Plus, there were people, and I'll just say, I remember listening to John Campea, and he was saying that how he likes this approach that, hey, we need somebody to come in here and really sort of like take control and really start like making better decisions. I think the hesitation that I had at that point was like, look at where they're coming from. You're coming from Discovery, where it's like you've got a template that has worked, but it's also like a template that is just like, in the creative world, because I wouldn't call what they do at fucking TLC, like all the fucking shows they have, wouldn't call them creative necessarily. They're just,
it's just let's get people, place, theme, and then that's it.
Yeah, let's just follow them around, right?
Yeah.
Like
this couple
dog the bounty hunter.
Yeah,
like,
this couple they buy and flip homes. This couple they buy
married at first sight,
Airbnb the home, like
married next week.
Yeah,
married to my dog. Like
90-day fiance. Like that's really all it is.
And so it's rinse and repeat with that shit, right? And I was like, okay, it's cool. It's not cool, but it's okay. They're coming in and they're having to like kind of clean house a little bit. But at what point do you strip it all down enough to where it's like there's like nothing really here anymore, right? So when you get rid of all these movies, when you get rid of fucking Cartoon Network, apparently, like, okay, Cartoon Network might not be, quote, making you any money, but that's where a lot of people like, and again, maybe I have it wrong. We're clearly in a new generation where maybe the kids nowadays don't fucking watch Cartoon Network. And that's completely fine, right? Like, I feel like
that's the problem, actually.
No, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just evolution.
This is a lot of bitch ass kids today. And I feel like if they were watching Cartoon Network like we were watching Toonami, they'd be tougher.
Well, we were pretty. What do you mean tougher? What does that even fucking mean?
Like if you watched Dragon Ball Z growing up, you knew Goku taught you to never give up.
Yeah. Goku taught you how to abandon your family for decades at a time.
My father was already gone. Goku raised me.
No, he didn't. He distinctly didn't. He would leave you.
He wasn't there for Gohan. He was there for me.
Goten didn't even fucking know who the fuck he was for like the first 8 years.
One day you'll meet your father, your granddad.
One day. No, that was his dad. That was Goten's dad.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm thinking about Gohan's son. What was his name again? No, Gohan had a daughter, Pan.
Yeah. But anyways, so you take all the shit out, and what are you left with? Because what I don't want to be left with is a bunch of fucking gimmicky shows that are there to just attract a certain audience, and that's it, right? Like they're not like what I like about Warner Brothers is like, okay, do they have a lot of misses? Absolutely, right? Do we get some really fucking good shit every now and then? Yes. And so if you take away all that creativity and we're just left with like these like cookie cutter fucking shows and movies and whatever the fucking case is, because I can imagine a world where they start putting out fucking like Christmas movies and shit, you know, that's just like, oh my God, does this belong on fucking, what's the channel? The Oxygen? No, what is the channel that puts out all these fucking like Hallmark, the Hallmark channel, Hallmark, you know? Network, it's like, I don't want to, come on, man. Like, give me some weird shit, you know what I mean? Like, give me Peacemaker. I'm with that shit, you know? Like,
like more like edgy, like, you know, storytelling that like you don't really only find on a streaming service, not the shit that you're gonna get only like not the stuff you're used to getting from like network television. Like it's got to be like more edgy, more current, but also you got to pay homage and pay respect to like the old content that people love and adore, and you got to make that available. Like I just want to focus on Toonami really quickly, and I just want to highlight all of the shit Toonami gave us that to me personally like means the world to me, right? So I got a list here of just like some of Toonami's top 25 shows. I'm going to go through this really quickly. Inuyasha. Absolutely love Inuyasha. They gave us Gundam Wing, Samurai Jack, Samurai Champloo, Sailor Moon, Rurouni Kenshin, Dragon Ball Z, Powerpuff Girls.
Yo, hold on. Pause right there. I heard somebody saying like there was like a meme online about like being ashamed to watch a Powerpuff Girls.
I saw that.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no. Get the fuck out of here. Powerpuff Girls is the shit.
Hard.
Who's your favorite
Sugar,
Powerpuff Girl?
Spice, everything nice. Fuck, I can't even remember their names.
So it's Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. You see how I just know that shit off the bat?
Buttercup was fucking flames.
I like Buttercup. Yeah, Buttercup was about that shit.
Buttercup was flames.
Listen, in the movie, because they're making the Powerpuff Girls live action movie.
I'm not gonna watch that, dude. There's just no way in hell that's going to be any type of good.
If they make Buttercup a black girl, I'd get it. It makes sense to me. You know, she just had that energy. She just had that energy. But so for me, I think what Toonami really did for me was introduce me to like anime, right?
Yeah.
They gave Yu Yu Hakusho, my favorite anime of all time, Cowboy Bebop, Bleach, One Punch Man, One Piece, like Gundam Wing, Big O, and like I said, Powerpuff Girls. There's so much shit here, and like if they're gonna consolidate, and I think what you can do successfully. When you go through a merger, instead of getting rid of shit and just like we're gonna end that, we're not gonna do that anymore, we're not gonna do that anymore. It's like organizing a house, right? Yeah. Obviously, yes, there's some organizing your garage. There's some shit you're just gonna have to get rid of because it just doesn't make sense anymore. But there's a lot of shit you can preserve if it's organized correctly. Well, that's what they need to do is just organize their shit.
Well, that's just it. I don't know if they're gonna get rid of it in terms of the content is just not gonna be available anymore. Or if they're doing that, basically scrubbing it. I would have to suspect that because of the extensive catalog, that they're not just going to fucking get rid of. And I would argue that for all of the anime stuff, Crunchyroll is the way to go. They've got all the anime shit. Now it's gonna cost you a little bit of money, but it's right there for you if you're super into anime. But for all the other shows like Powerpuff Girls and Dexter.
Dexter's Lab.
Yo. DD. Yeah, that shit. It still goes hard. I'm gonna go back and watch it right now. Like that shit still fucking goes hard. But
SWAT Cats. Remember that?
I remember the name. I don't know why I can't picture.
Remember it was like the two cats and they were mechanics in the junkyard, but then like at night they had the robot.
Yeah, the robot. Yeah. I remember
fight crime. Gargoyles.
Yeah, was Gargoyles on? No, Gargoyles wasn't on.
I thought Gargoyles was on Cartoon Network. Was it?
I don't think so. That might have been like a Fox thing because I remember that being on Fox.
Oh yeah, you know what? I feel like it was on a different network. You might be right.
Yeah, I feel like that was on Fox.
Still great. I want to show them love.
Yeah. But let me read a little bit from this article. On Wednesday, Warner Brothers Group confirmed that it had let go of 82 staffers across animation, scripted, and unscripted divisions, leaving 43 of those unfilled positions vacant. A memo was sent out by Warner Bros. Discovery chairman Channing Dunny, detailing the company's decision, a decision that had been expected. Additionally, the development and production teams of Warner Bros. Animation and Cartoon Network Studios will combine under one division. While Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe maintains a separate team, further fueling speculation about Cartoon Network's future. According to a report by Polygon, however, the consolidating of Warner Brothers Animation and Cartoon Network Studios will not affect output or show development, with one Warner Brothers representative confirming that Cartoon Network Studios is still working on multiple projects. Said projects include original animated programming for Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and HBO Max. Okay, so we get our answer there a little bit in terms of they're not getting rid of it necessarily. They're just now, but it's just hard for me to imagine that like you're going to be putting out premium content with like half the fucking staff you had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's always a questionable thing. If you cut everybody and you're like, but we're still going to be putting out quality shit. It's like, who's going to be putting it out? Like the 12 people who are overworked already are now even doubly overworked now.
Yeah.
Like,
remember when like Homelander fired the whole like cybersecurity and research department in The Boys?
Yeah.
And then he installed the Deep as like the director.
And he's making these like whack ass like,
and like he has no fucking idea how to like, you know, research and check security cameras. And like, and they're just like, and the girl is just like, he's like, well, why can't you just comb through and find Soldier Boy? And she's like, well, like that would take an entire team of people, maybe like a week to comb through all that. And it's just me here.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening here.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to fire everybody, but still give you the same quality shit. I don't know if it works like that.
Yeah. So let me read a little bit more. Since the takeover, Warner Brothers Discovery President and CEO David Zaslav pledged to cut the company's cost by $3 billion. So that's basically what they're trying to do. They're just trying to hack anywhere that they can fucking cut.
Start with his salary.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's like, we could take care of like maybe $500 million by just not paying you.
Cutting executive salaries. Yeah,
and he's like, no. Yeah, we're not doing that. No. I
just bought a new yacht.
I got it.
Fire those 43 people.
How will we sail to Italy next year? I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I need a full crew.
We're not cutting them. They're staying on full time. Yeah. In fact, we're bringing more people on. Those cuts include Infinity Train, a popular series that aired on Cartoon Network from 2019 to 2021 before being moved to streaming services. In August 2022, Cartoon Network removed Infinity Train content from the internet entirely. So basically they're not getting rid of it. They're just retooling it. But in that retool, it's kind of just like the writing is kind of on the wall here in terms of what the future holds for this. I don't think that I feel like the people out there who are like, this is good for the longevity of Warner Brothers in terms of the content that we've known. I think they're sorely incorrect in that I think the content we're going to end up seeing is going to suffer. Now, it's different when you're like, if this dude came from somewhere else, if he came from like Hulu or like fucking somewhere else where it's just like, okay, creatively, we know, okay, we can see your vision here. We see where you're going with it. When you come from Discovery, it's just like, I don't know if I trust your ability to make the decisions for the content versus what's best for business and bottom line.
Yeah, it's like he has the business acumen, but does he have the wherewithal to like understand like how to, as a brand, produce quality content that is going to like resonate with your consumers or compete with what you got coming from Hulu and Netflix, who are creating original content, who have
and who are taking their time too.
And they're doing it the right way. Yeah.
And it's tough for Warner Brothers because they've just been an institution for, you know, however many decades. And so of course there's definitely some fat there to try to trim, but again, coming from where he's come from, it's hard for me to put that faith and that trust as like, okay, I can see where you're going with this. I understand why you're making all these cuts. And at the end of it, it's just going to be better content on the back end. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the content's going to suffer and you're just going to have half the staff. You know?
Yeah. When you're trimming the fat, you have to be really careful not to cut too much off because, you know, then you just have like dry content. No one wants that. Right. Yeah. So like when they, you know, I know you said, what is that show? Infinity Train. They wiped the content entirely. That's
especially when it's popular. Like different when it's like nobody gives a shit about it. But when you're saying like, oh, this is a popular show, then it's like, lean into it, motherfucker. Why are you cutting this? Like, lean into that shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what comes from this as like we get more information. Like, I really just want to know what's gonna happen with the Cartoon Network content and all the Toonami content and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, it was a vibe back in the fucking late 90s, early 2000s, man. Let me read the rest of this. Cartoon Network is known for producing several original cartoons over its 3 decades of existence, including Dexter's Laboratory, The Powerpuff Girls, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Johnny Bravo. It also aired notable anime series like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon. Additionally, Cartoon Network is known for Toonami, which was originally a weekday afternoon programming block from 1997 to 2004 before being canceled and then relaunched in 2012 as a late night block of Adult Swim. Yeah, dude, there's no replacing that. That's what if you were a kid in the 90s, especially like obviously like the late 90s, and you just saw that little I don't even know what the fuck his name is. I
forget his name. The little AI robot.
Yeah,
he was listening to like back then. He was listening to like lo-fi hip hop.
Yo, we didn't even know. I had no fucking idea. We didn't know the vibes that was going to be generating. But you saw that, dude, and I'm telling you right now, man, if it might have saved some lives. I don't think I'm exaggerating.
Imagine being like in middle school and having like a tough day in school, right? With all the middle school politics.
Fucking assholes.
On the blacktop, right? Yeah. And what happened? Oh, that motherfucker pushed me today.
Son of a bitch.
Tunde pushed me
into a tree.
But then they go home and watch Toonami and everything's okay.
Everything's fine, dude.
Yeah, this generation doesn't have that. Now they just go on TikTok.
They do. No.
Of course
they have their shit that they go to. It's just we don't know what the fuck that is because and it's also more fractured, right? Toonami was like it, right?
Yeah.
That and
we were all we all knew the one place to go.
Exactly.
Now there's like 50 places to go.
8 billion different places to go.
4chan and shit now.
No. Yeah, you want to stay off of that. That's a dark place.
Fucking Reddit.
Yo, those are dark places, dude. Like even just like the vibe of even the people who are like in those places and like are either running it or whatever, even they know those are just dark places.
Yeah,
dude.
if you have like a 4chan account and like a
username, do you have an account? Is that how you do 4chan?
Probably. I know it's supposed to be like a secret society or something. But what was that organization recently that like released the names?
Spectre. It's like, I'm kidding. I don't know.
But it was like it's like some like I think some like fucking racist organization that was supposed to be like a secret, racist organization, but they like had somehow the list of the names of all of the members got released recently. Did you hear about that?
Was it the Oath Keepers or something shit like that?
It might have been. But they're like supposed to be a secret, but it's like, wait, but how are you a secret if you have a registry? Well, if you have keep track my name, my number, my credit card information, this is not a secret then.
Well, it's secret that other people know that you're a part of this organization.
Yeah, but now it's legal. Now it's very public.
Yeah, that's the risk you run. Yeah, when you try to fucking, that's the equivalent of people online who get like doxxed, right? Who like do some fucked up shit online, and then people like put their information out there.
Yeah, I love when that happens.
I don't. You know why I don't like when it happens? Because it's like I don't want that shit to happen for one to me, but then two to like other people that I like. Right?
No, fuck that.
Everything goes both ways.
Do you remember that lady? Have you ever seen the video of the lady? She's like walking her 2 dogs down the street, right? And she's like walking past a gate. It's like a fenced in someone's property, and then on their property, this other person, they have their dogs, right? And then like I think their dogs are like barking at her dogs, and she must walk past them often enough to know that like today she brought her pepper spray and she like pepper sprayed the other 2 dogs, right?
Are you kidding me?
And
were they like attacking her?
No, they were behind a fence and they were like smaller dogs, right? So she was like, well, and the people like saw what happened, and they like followed her down the street. And they were like, whoa, like, stop. Like, you just pepper sprayed our dogs, right?
Yeah.
And then the woman's justification was like, well, they were preventing me from walking. And it's like, no, they're behind a fence. They did nothing to you. And like, she literally went down, like she walked up to the fence and like pepper sprayed the dogs, right? So shit like that. No, I love when they post that video online, and then the internet people are like, "Yep, that's this person. This is who she is. This is her name. This is where she fucking works."
But again, that street goes both ways though. Like, so what happens when like an activist, right, gets their information leaked online, and then people start fucking with them, whether it's people or the cops, starting.
No, that's true. That's true. It does go both ways. good people can get hurt, bad people can, their shit can get brought to light.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just I'm more of a fan of put the truth out there. Like, air these motherfuckers out. If you're an activist, protect yourself, be safe. But I think there are a lot of things that happen on a daily basis from people when they go to work and there are no consequences for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking, a loan officer may call someone like a racial slur, right? And then go back to the bank, go to work, and deny people's loans because he's fucking racist and needs to be aired out.
Yeah. I mean, this is true, right? Like, you for the people who have two faces for what they would show publicly and then what they believe privately, I think that is an important thing to know, right? Like, if the judge in my fucking case is a Klans member, I feel like that's pertinent information for me to know when I step into that fucking courtroom and he's like, life sentence for stealing a candy bar,
like that, whatever the fuck that means.
Like, you jaywalk, so life in prison. It's like, what? Like, now I understand.
I would love to get to a point where like there's no anonymity on social media, where it's like, to have an account you have to be like a real person, have like a real name. Blah, blah, blah.
But because again, that knife cuts both ways. Is like, for as much as it is to kind of weed out people who do fucked up shit or say fucked up shit online, it will be used for the and that's the tough part about life, right? Is that like, for all the things that we're like, yes, I'm with this type of energy, it can be used against you for the shit that you like.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to make decisions though, right? It's like, unfortunately, there will be some bad, but I think in my opinion, from my perspective, and I could be wrong, it'll be mostly good if there were no longer people online who could like attack and bully and blah, blah, blah without identification.
Yeah, again, like, I agree with you, like, but I guess what I'm saying is that same thing can be used for the
of course. And there's no like right answer, but like right now we're just like, you can just get on, like, I can create a fake account right now and just bully somebody, or attack somebody, and like there's zero consequence for it unless there's research done to find out who I am and where I am. Otherwise, I'm just bullying people online.
What it should be is that you should be like, remember that Black Mirror episode?
Never seen it.
Yeah. Basically, it's like a thing where like they can control how people see you. So literally, like, if you do some fucked up shit, you can just be walking around in life, and instead of seeing and be able to hear you, you just almost see like a white, like the person's face is like blurred out and you can't hear what they're saying, like, and it's that way for you in terms of everybody else. So you can't really fucking interact with people.
Yeah.
I think that's what should happen to people who do fucked up shit online, right? Is that you should be put in like timeout, basically, where it's just like nobody can fucking see or talk to you for some amount of time. You're not going to jail, right? So you can still go to the fucking store and buy yourself groceries or whatever the fucking case is, but you can't fucking interact with people because apparently you don't know how to fucking act in terms of interactions with people. So because of that, we're now putting you in fucking timeout for however long. And then once you're done with that, then okay, you can come back. And if you do the same shit, all right, well then that happens again.
Yeah, I also think like I saw something I was recently on like Vice, and I thought it was like really interesting about how, like sex offenders have to like register as sex offenders and like live in certain areas and communities.
Yeah,
I feel like you should have to do that in a lot of other situations too. Like if you're a rapist, or you should have to fucking register.
So I guess sex offender.
I guess yeah. So like, but like if you're like a rapist, if you're a racist, if you're someone who is a part of like any group that like attacks other people, like you should have to register. Like if you get proven, like let's say you get arrested for like using racial remarks or like being racist in any way, you should have to fucking like register, like so people could see who you are. I remember that episode of Black Mirror where like people got ratings and you like you could see people like something like that. You can see that you could look them up like, oh, okay, you're a fucking asshole. Like I know that now.
Yeah.
But it's got to be like obviously measures and controls around it. But
that's what like, okay, who makes these metrics of like, I don't know what counts as racist?
Can't be white people though.
Well, anything can happen. It's just white people can't be in charge of that. Yo, you know how much shit they would. Yo, you know how much shit they would have like. No, Uncle Joe's not racist. Okay, he's just he just says a lot of weird shit sometimes. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh it's my god, there'd be so many passes given. Jesus, I've heard so many excuses. Yeah. So they can't be involved.
Yeah,
historically.
Right. Let's maybe not RIP for Cartoon Network, but it's currently on life support, I would argue. And the one show that they just simply cannot fucking touch is Rick and Morty. All right.
Yeah.
If they do,
Too rich.
You know how they say in wrestling, like, you might not know this, but if this person doesn't win tonight, we riot, right? Like, if you fucking get rid of Rick and Morty, we riot.
No.
You know,
I mean that very well could happen.
Yeah.
Let's check out 2 of these trailers, and I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. Okay, let's check out this first trailer. We're going back in time now. House party. So a high school student decides to host a house party while his parents are away. A remake of the 1990 comedy House Party. This is directed by Calamatic. I don't know who that is, but director of the movie. And then writers Stephen Glover as well as Jamal Alori. And this is starring Jacob Lattimore. I feel like I've seen his name associated with like reboots of like old 90s shit a lot. I don't know who he exactly is. But
yeah, I'm not sure.
Jacob Lattimore seems like it. Anyways,
I heard the name.
Tossin Cole, Batara, Angeli. I'm messing up all these names. Alan Malando, Malad on Ado. I don't know.
You just gotta
push
through it.
Yeah, that I should have. Anyways, let's check this trailer out for House Party.
Come on, get your lazy ass up.
All right, I'm up already.
That's what you get staying out partying all night.
I'm a promoter. I'm working. I got like 18,000 followers.
You know who got followers? Jesus. Take your rude ass to work.
You just cursed. What would Jesus say?
Jesus would say, shut the fuck up. This is my house.
What you know about here, where's private jet stick?
See you late as usual. You need to clean this place. I done got all day.
Oh, ew, what the fuck?
Who? That couch just fluffed itself. Whose crib is this, man? Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs is dead, fool. I mean, his house died. Dude got Miami shit, Cleveland shit, LA shit. Damn, pick a city, bro. Oh my God. We in LeBron's house. LeBron who? James!
Hey there.
Oh!
You are one handsome motherfucker.
He got a hologram of himself just to give him compliments?
You handled the decision to go to Miami perfectly.
Nah, that's cap. I need 10 G's by next week. I gotta pay for my daughter's school. Bro, they on vacation. How about we throw the party in the king's house? We gonna invite all the celebrities. We can make 10 times the money. We can send Destiny to preschool, college, whatever. Tonight is our last shot. Looks like we about to throw a house.
Hi, I see you there. How are you?
It's a white man.
Oh, shit. We're going to jail, Kim.
Hi, I'm Peter. Is LeBron home? By the way, Black Lives Matter.
They do.
I posted 2 squares on my Instagram. Respect.
This is a really bad idea.
I wouldn't do something like this unless I was desperate. Shit cracking, bro. You see how out of control this party is? Shit, we done fucked up the koala. You good? What the fuck just happened?
Your hairline is perfect. Anyone who says otherwise is just jealous.
This guy.
Shout out to LeBron, for having a fucking sense of humor for himself.
Yeah, and I think he's part of the production of
Is
this
he
movie.
really? Okay.
I believe so. Could be wrong, but I like it. It looks fun. If anyone's seen the original House Party movies, you know what to expect. You know, this is not. There's no need to reinvent the wheel here. This is a movie about a dope ass house party. They're just obviously taking it to a whole nother level. Throwing a house party at LeBron's house. Now I don't know how you throw a party at LeBron's house when he doesn't know it, and then you invite Anthony Davis as if they're not teammates. So that doesn't connect. But fuck it.
I mean, you can, right? You can get invited to a LeBron's house if you're a teammate, and maybe you were told, "Oh, LeBron," I don't know.
But then
are you waiting for an invite directly?
When you text LeBron, like, yo,
sliding through,
I'll be there tonight. Let's link. He's like, wait, what the fuck? I'm on a meditation retreat. But anyway, I'm not gonna fucking try and connect all the dots here. This just looks like a fun movie. A lot of people in this movie. We saw Lil Wayne. We saw original Kid and Play from the original House Party movie. We've got Lena Waithe. That's her name, right? Lena Waithe.
Yeah, I believe.
We got Lena Waithe in it. We've got Gata. We've got obviously a slew of celebrities. Anthony Davis, a bunch of basketball players.
Snoop.
Clearly, LeBron is in this. Snoop. It's gonna look like it's gonna be a crazy fun movie.
Yeah, it looks fun, and it looks funny too. You know, even just with the short stuff that we got
I do like LeBron's sense of humor in this movie.
Yo, that's hilarious, man. Just like everything that everybody talks shit about him about, he can kind of just make fun of himself about, you know. All right, let's move on to our next trailer. And I don't know when that's actually coming out, because it says it's coming out in 2023, but I'm not sure exactly when. I think I saw something that it was coming out in January, but that might not be accurate. Hold on. Release. House Party will theatrically released by Warner Brothers January 13, 2023. It was originally set for HBO Max release on July 28th, 2022, but was removed from Warner Brothers schedules. Yada, yada, yada. Anyways, yeah, so I think it's going to be delayed again. I don't think it's coming out in January anymore. So it's interesting that they put this trailer out, but they don't really have like a firm date when it's actually coming out, I believe, on HBO Max. But anyways, let's jump to this next trailer. We have a trailer for Megan, which is about a robotics engineer at a toy company who builds a lifelike lifelike doll that begins to take a life of its own. This is directed by Gerard Johnstone, and written by Akilah Cooper and James Wan, I believe. Let me double check if that's actually true.
Yeah, have you ever seen it? While you looked it up, have you ever seen a movie about some black people who built like some artificial intelligence that like fucking took over the world? Well, except for the guy who built the Terminator program. Remember him?
Who the guy
who built like Cybernet?
Yeah.
Remember
about him?
He was the only one. After him, we stopped doing that shit. All the other movies where like, some like robot who's like has artificial intelligence took over the world and killed a bunch of people.
Yeah,
that was never us. After that guy,
why does there have to be blame assigned? It's just
no, come on now. We live in we like to blame. I like to point fingers sometimes. It's not us. We didn't do it.
It had nothing to do with that. This is starring Allison Williams, Violet McGraw, Rooney Chang, Jenna Davis. It is due out when is this? January 13th of 2023. Let's check out the trailer for Megan, which I've heard people very excited about online.
Katie, you lost your parents.
Welcome home.
You're my niece. I'm gonna do everything I can to make this place feel like home.
Just wish I could see them again.
I'm not equipped to handle this. I don't even take care of my own plants. I have this project at work. Do you want to see?
Yes.
Ever since I was little, I dreamed of this perfect toy that would protect a kid from ever feeling lonely or sad. This is Megan.
Hi, Megan. I'm Katie. It's nice to meet you, Katie. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
Megan, your goal is to protect Katie from harm, both physical and emotional.
Is that a doll?
Model 3 generative android. Megan, for short.
I can't believe you made this. I love it.
Wanna hang out, yeah, sounds like fun.
Great job.
It's nice to have a friend.
It's honestly like she's part of the family now.
They could be building emotional connections that are too hard to untangle.
She's the happiest she's been since her parents died. Eat the toppings, Katie.
Research shows if you force a child to eat vegetables, they'll be less likely to choose those foods as adults.
Is that so?
Yes. Experts say...
Megan, turn off.
I thought we were having a conversation.
Does she talk? Make her say something.
Stop! Don't! Megan! You should probably run.
Oh, fuck. What are you doing?
Megan, should push Brandon onto the road. I won't let anything harm you.
Megan, turn off.
Recalibrating response model. Megan! What's wrong with you? Don't worry, Katie. I won't let anything harm you. Ever again.
Yo, that was creepy as fuck.
See, yeah, that's why. Yo, would you get an Android doll?
Like a doll like that?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Like if they let's say you started making them today, would you get
Nope.
one? Yeah, no, I'm not.
No, yeah,
I can do my own dishes.
No, we're good.
I don't need a super secret stealthy robot who's like 10 times as strong as I am because they're made of fucking like fucking adamantium, vibranium. Yeah, just fucking me up for no reason just because I was like, yo, like it's time to go to bed, and they're like, no, I don't want to. No, that's not how I'm going out. Damn, what happened to Arain? Yo, his robot killed him.
He got boxed up by his fucking robot.
His robot raped him, then killed him. Like, why did it rape him? AI. Nah, that's not gonna be my story. I swear, man. I won't let it happen.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could do something like that. I'm just naturally untrusting of things that I know I can't really like control, right? Like, and I know that's a very human thing, right? Because it's like, why, right? Like we're fucking human. Just let it go, right? Let our idea of control go. But also, it's just like, yo, here's this fucking. Like, even just, and I'm going to be completely honest, even the idea of other humans, right? Like, I'm weary of that, of having other humans around. So it's just like having this fucking android that is just like, yo, and how much, like, the computer doesn't do the things you fucking want it to do. The fucking, if I'm using this fucking...
Yeah, the iPhone 14
doesn't do this shit.
So why would I get like a robot? If a robot were to come out today, right, around the same time the iPhone 14 is coming out, like they're both the technology is very flimsy. I'm not getting no deadly ass robot in my crib with my kids.
Fuck that, dude. Yeah, and honestly, just by the creepy nature of
yeah.
And I understand this is a Hollywood movie, so
definitely not gonna get a little white girl robot.
No, that would be last on the totem.
I've seen too many movies.
Yeah. We're not, and stay away from red hair, right?
Yeah.
So no Chucky, no Chucky
passive aggressive
dolls.
robot. That shit. Victim robot has built-in victim mentality. It's just fucking. You did this to me. Too great a risk.
Jesus Christ. All right, yo, let's watch one more trailer. Do we have time?
Yeah,
okay, let's watch the Mario trailer. So we were supposed to watch this last week. We didn't, but fuck it. We're going to do it now. So this is a plumber named Mario travels through an underground labyrinth with his brother Luigi trying to save a captured princess. This is basically a feature film adaptation of the video game, obviously. So this is directed by Aaron Horvath as well as Michael Jelnick. And written by Matthew Fogel, starring Chris Pratt, Anna Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, among others. Is due out April 7th of this next year, 2023. Let's check out Mario. Cooper.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Behold, the king of the Koopas!
He's like Daenerys.
Open the gates!
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield? I do not. I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Yeah, people tripping, dude.
I see no flaws.
Yo, people tripping.
That's great.
People were talking about how like, oh, Chris Pratt is just regular Chris Pratt's voice, and okay, so
yeah,
so because he's not. Oh, Mario! Like, is that really what?
Yeah,
the
I didn't
fuck we're
need
looking
that.
for?
I just need great animation, like really good story. Like if it's just regular people's voices, that's fine. I don't need them to be like too animated. Maybe he will. Like maybe when he does the "It's a me." Mario, maybe he'll like jazz it a little bit, but if not, I'm fine with that.
Either get somebody who's fucking Italian,
yeah,
to do that.
Oh, you haven't seen the most recent season of Love Island, right? Should have got Davide.
Absolutely not. I have not seen that.
If you did, you would completely understand what I was saying. It would be perfect.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah. Anyways, that
movie looks great. Animation looks great.
I thought it fucking looked dope. And I love how they keep it animated and they're not doing some sort of like live action
where like fucking two real Italian dudes turn into fucking Mario and Luigi. Yeah, I wouldn't like that. They fall down like a toilet or something like that.
Well, we got that in the 90s, right? We got, a weird fucking Mario movie.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like the old one.
Nobody liked that. Because I remember even when it came out as a kid, I was just like, I really want to like this, but this. I think this is, they might have used that for a dare, where they're like, this is what happens when you take fucking, PCP, right? Like this is what happens when you take acid is you see this movie.
I remember seeing that old movie and I like, you immediately knew, like, even as a kid, you were just like, yeah,
this ain't it.
I don't appreciate being lied to. I know that was my first example of like when you could recognize like quality versus bullshit.
Yeah. It immediately made you want to go, now look here, buddy.
Yeah, ask for a refund. Yeah, man, that movie was shitty. I forgot about that movie entirely up until now. I'm actually disappointed I reminded myself of it.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
You've forgotten about it all these years.
Warner Brothers should delete that movie from that movie's existence from its entire catalog. I don't even know if Warner Brothers owns it, but
it should.
What did they get rid of? Infinity Train or something like that?
Yeah.
Get rid of that Mario movie too.
Yeah. Well, in that fucking on that note, we'll go ahead and say goodbye here. But I'm gonna have to rename this Newsflash, buddy, because that's just
that would be a great fucking name. Actually.
Yeah. In fact, let me do it right now, even before we even fucking end the podcast. Yeah, we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Hopefully, you got anything going on next week? Are you gonna be gone? Yeah.
So yes, next week I will be in Arizona.
Oh shit!
Doing desert shit.
Yeah, you're gonna be out there. Just fucking be careful on those ATVs if you.
Definitely want to do some ATVs.
Yeah,
might even fucking go on horseback. You know what I mean? Take one of those shots.
Fuck are you
with the scorpion in it?
Walker, Texas Ranger. Like
do some ayahuasca. Me and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, you guys do that.
And Will Smith.
Does he do ayahuasca too?
Yeah. He said he did it and changed his life.
So you can start slapping people on stage.
Yeah, I guess so.
Was this pre-slap, post-slap?
I think it was. He would have never did it. He would have never slapped him if he didn't do the ayahuasca first. I feel like we have a freer Will Smith now. He's just like, yo, listen,
I do what I want.
Yeah.
He went up to Chris. He was like, "Newsflash, buddy."
Will Smith probably would say "Newsflash, buddy" instead of like, what were we saying that it was the equivalent to?
You got me fucked up.
Yeah. He would say "Newsflash, buddy."
All right, I'm Nano, ladies and gentlemen. We will deuce out here. We'll hopefully be back next week, same time, same place, but we'll see. With that being said, we'll go ahead and hit the very fucking usual quote.
Fade out.
Peace out.